care how bad it gets. I don't ever want to hear you lick the shit off the toilet tissue. In the penitentiary, in the pen. I was chilling, in the bathroom, and then you get the spirits that come into the spirit. I have my Native American headdress right now. So I'll go ahead and do the witch doctor stuff. Okay, I'll give you $1 million if you lick that shit off that toilet tissue. Oh, sí, como si soy tu madre o qué? ¿Qué me crees? I can't say it right. I haven't spoke Spanish in a long time. I'm gonna have to do another cut or another take. Como si soy tu madre o qué? I say it in English. I'll give you $1 million if you lick that shit off that toilet tissue. Oh yeah, I must look like your mama then. I must look like your mama to you. I must look like your mama to you. I must look like your daddy or your friend licking the shit off the you licking the shit off the toilet tissue. I'll give you $1 million if you lick that shit off that toilet tissue. Oh, sí, que me crees, puto, como si soy tu madre o qué? I must look like your mama, your daddy, your friend to you. And then another time he came into my head, he's like, if the devil calls, let it ring, let it ring, let it ring, let it ring. And, well, I heard it ringing in my head. And I said, what the hell? I said, I'm gonna pick up the phone. If the devil calls, I'm picking it up. He might give me a deal. I'm picking up the phone. So I picked up the phone and said, hello? And he said, how does $500 sound to have a lady take a shit on your chest? I said, what? He said, how much? He said, $500 for a lady to take a dump on your chest. Well, I'm Mexican and I'm fearless, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. I'm gonna go ahead and see how far he's willing to go with this strategy. And I used to be a business major, so I'm gonna jump up to the opportunistic endeavor of negotiations, because I love negotiating my pay. So I said, $500? Well, what does she eat? He's like, she ate food, she ate stuff. She just ate stuff. I said, okay, well, $500 for just one turd on my chest? Is she gonna be face to face to me, or is it gonna be ass to face? So I can't remember what he said about the ass to face or whatever, but I said, no, that's a bullshit deal. I said, that's a BS deal. I said, that's a BS deal. I said, $1,000. I do it for $1,000 per turd. 3 turd minimum. So we settled on $3,000. $3,000 for a lady to take a shit on my chest. For a lady to take a shit on my chest, I was like, okay, that sounds pretty good. Hey, I'll make that $3,000. I'll make that $3,000. I'll make that $3,000. And the phone rings again. I said, oh no. Hey, I love the phone ringing. I love to hear the ring, ring, ring. I love hearing the phone. I love picking it up. It goes green. Well, I hear the phone ringing again. I was like, oh, he's back. I said, let me answer the phone. So I answered the phone, and he said, how much for a dog to lick you after you take a piss? I said, what the hell? I said, ¿qué me crees, puto? In my head, I was like, ¿qué me crees, puto? Como si soy tu padre o qué? But I wasn't gonna, I wasn't gonna let him call my bluff and stuff, so I go ahead and start my negotiations because I'm a business major. At Houston Community College, I was a business major. So I tell him, well, Shit, $500? I said, well, is the dog vaccinated? Does the dog have all these vaccines? Because you know, the canine officer, and it ain't no fun unless the homies get some. So, I said, well, beer for my horses, whiskey for my man, beef for my horses. So, I didn't want to offend the canine officer's handler. So I said, okay, well, do I know the dog? He said, no, you don't know the dog. I said, well, am I going to have to see the dog again? No, you don't have to see the dog again. You just lick one time after you take a piss. You don't have to look the dog in the eyes. The dog has all its vaccinations. And you don't never have to see the dog again. So I said, okay. I said, okay, that's okay. I got that, okay. I could do it. I was like, okay, cool, count me in. And as soon as he hung up the phone, I called him back. I started 69 his ass. I said, you know what? I said, hell no. I said, that's a shit deal you just gave me. I said, that's a shit deal. I'm looking on the laptop right now, and the laptop says that they're doing way more than that, and they're having way more over there in Asia than they're having over here with the dogs. The Asian ladies are getting paid way more than what you're offering me to get a lick of the cunt from a dog. I said, you know what? And don't call me here anymore, Jerry. Don't call me here anymore because you're just giving me the BS deals. That's not fair, is it? If Polly want a cracker, Polly want easy, I'll go. I'm molting. I'm gonna be a mighty king, so enemies beware. This child is getting severely out of wing. Oh, I just can't wait to be king. Easy, I'll go. If I have to listen to one more of her stupid jokes, I'm gonna be sick. Paul, you wanna... Nobody knows the troubles I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrows. Love you, bitches. Love you, bitches. Love you, bitches.